Lesson 28 is about improper fractions, mixed numbers, and decimal numbers. And an improper fraction is just when the numerator of a fraction is greater than the denominator. So if we had something like 7/4, that's an example of an improper fraction because the numerator is bigger than the denominator. If we had 19/2 or 19/2, that's also an improper fraction. So if this is an improper fraction, when the numerator is greater than the denominator, if we had something like 7/9, well, 7/9, that's an example of a proper fraction. And it's a proper fraction because the numerator is smaller than the denominator. Now there's nothing wrong with improper fractions. Okay? All it means is that the numerator is greater than the denominator. There are many times when you can report your answer as an improper fraction, and we'll talk about that as we go throughout our lesson and the textbook. Let's look at our first example for today. We want to convert the following improper fractions to mixed numbers. Now what we're saying is 14 fifths, or 14/5, which is the same thing as 14 divided by 5. And we can go through the division to find out what our mixed number answer will be. We know 5 goes into 14 2 times, and we get 10, with 4 left over. We have our answer. We've got 2 with 4 out of 5 left over. So we've got 2 and 4 fifths. And we can go through this type of process every single time to convert improper fractions to mixed numbers. Let's look at our other example. We have 21/8. So that really means 21 divided by 8, because a fraction is just another way of expressing division. 8 is going to go into 21 2 times, and we get 16 with 5 left over, and we have our answer because we have 2 with 5 left over out of 8. So we get 2 and 5/8. That's our mixed number answer. They're mixed numbers because they have both a whole part and a fraction part. Let's go ahead and look at our next examples. Now we want to write 7 4/9 as an improper fraction. So in the last example, we went from an improper fraction to a mixed number by dividing. So if we want to go from a mixed number to an improper fraction, we'll do the opposite of division. We're going to be multiplying. And the way we're going to do it is we're going to say, well, we're going to multiply 7 times 9. Because we need to multiply up, okay? Or 9 times 7, either way you like to think about it. Same answer either way. We got 63. So this is multiplication as our first step, our denominator times our whole number part. And then we've got to take our answer to that, and we have to add our numerator. We're going to add the 4. So 63 plus 4, that's equal to 67, and we figured out our answer. Our answer, an improper fraction, is going to be 67/9. And we're all done. Now if you weren't sure about that answer, you know how to go ahead and take your improper fractions and make them mixed numbers. Let's go ahead and do that to make sure we got it right. If we say 67 divided by 9, this is our check, we should get an answer of 7 4/9. Let's see if we do. 9 goes into 67 7 times. We get 63. We subtract, we have 4, and we've got 7 with 4 left over out of 9. 7 4/9. We got the answer that we were expecting to. We got this question right. We can move on to the next problem. Let's convert the following mixed number to a decimal. Now if we want to convert this to a decimal, 3 1/8, well, we need to know what 1/8 is as a decimal. We know the decimal is going to be 3 and some amount. We just don't know what our decimal values are going to be. We can put a few out here. Let's go ahead and fill them in. If you know what 1 divided by 8 is in your head, that's fantastic. Write it out now. If you don't know what it is, that's okay. Because remember, fractions are just another way of dividing. So we can say 1 divided by 8, and that will tell us our answer. We know 8 never goes into 1, so we have 0. We're going to have to add a decimal point, and we know 1 is the same thing as 1.0. 8 goes into 10, 1 time. Decimal point comes straight up. 8 times 1 is 8, with 2 left over. Now we can never have a decimal number with a mixed number, or we can never have a decimal number with a remainder. So we've got to keep going. Let's add another 0 and bring it down. 8 goes into 20 2 times, because 8 times 2 is 16. We've got 4 left over, no remainders, so we add another 0. Bring that 0 down. 8 goes into 40 5 times. That's perfect because we have no remainder now. 8 times 5, that's 40. We're all done. Our decimal part of our number is 0.125. We add that to the 3. We can fill in our blank place values. 3.125 is the same thing as 3 1/8. We're all done. We could box this answer and move on to the next question. If you like, you may rewrite it so it doesn't have the place value positions, tenths, hundredths, and thousandths, but you don't have to. It's the same number either way. Lesson practice is on page 95. Make sure you've got your notes complete, and I'll see you during our next class.